Leaders at all levels have been challenged to prioritize the health of citizens in order to boost the country's productivity. A call was made during the foundation laying ceremony of a teaching hospital donated by Mr. and Mrs. Modupe Alakija to the Osun State University in Osogbo in the twilight of the Aregbesola administration. The hospital project is in fulfillment of a pledge made by Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija when she was made the university's chancellor in 2016.
The dark of the night brightens up in Osun State University, Osogbo, southwest Nigeria, as the foundation of a 250-bed teaching hospital is laid.
Can you give me a round of applause?
This is courtesy of one of Nigeria's philanthropists, Chairman and Vice Chairman of Famfa Oil, Mr. Modupe and Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija. According to the donors, this is for the advancement of medical education and healthcare in the state.
When I was asked what I was going to do for the university, when I was made chancellor in 2016, my husband and I had promised to donate a pediatric hospital. Little did we know then that it was a seed that was being sown for what was more in line with what the students of the medical department were in dire need of. The decision to turn it into a teaching hospital was made less than 10 days ago. Architects had been working day and night for about a month on the medical hospital. However, I do believe that it is the will and work of God to turn it into a teaching hospital.
This is the beginning of an amazing thing. I pray it goes to a level that will be a reference institution for healthcare, training and delivery.
The architectural structure of the teaching hospital is unveiled.
Our prayer is that very few people will end up in the morgue when they use this hospital. Whether they are brought in, whether they crawl in, or whether they walk in, our own prayer is that they will walk out with their two legs by the special grace of God.
When completed, the teaching hospital will accommodate a world-class community health unit, maternity and neonatal Medicare, research and diagnostic laboratories, and operating theaters, among others. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
As the 2019 elections approaches, one of the worries of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, will be providing adequate security. Now, those who will be voting in the elections are also concerned about security at the polls. So it's time to reflect on the nation's security challenges and the way forward. Joining me on the news at 10, Mr. Okbola Taiwo. He's a retired Assistant Commissioner of Police. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening.
Glad you could make time to be with us tonight. So we see the Inspector General of Police deploying at least 2,000 men to the northeast region to boost security there and also to participate in Operation Lafia Dole. This area was one of the main concerns during the 2015 general elections. Does that suggest, the deployment of more police officers up there? Does that suggest there are fears that this, whatever happened in 2015, could recur in 2019?
Good evening, viewers. Naturally, when there is a war, there must be police presence. When the military fights, the police will come in, and when the people see the police, the civil life has returned. That is what happened in the Civil War. I was one of those deployed to the military area at that time. So this time around, the military have been saturated with a lot of job, and to at least to give the people some solace that they have no more war, no more problem. So the police now will back up the military and make the situation peaceful and accommodating for the civilians.
It almost sounds like you're saying the military is fatigued because of all the challenges they have been going through, and don't forget the loss they recently suffered.
Naturally, it's just a supporting force that the IG has done. There are a lot of things that the military cannot do while on the war front. The peace and the making people feel comfortable at home. It is the real job of the policeman. So what he really want them to the civilian to know is that the war is going to an end and the police are coming in to support the system.
People need to know that, especially in the Northeast, of course. With everything that has been going on, people need that assurance from security agencies that things are returning to normal. But there are still a couple of other threats, pockets of conflict in some parts of the country, some areas where you have insecurity and so on. What do you think can be done differently now that the police is fully involved, in helping to, not that they were not, but now, the challenge has changed, and so the strategy must also change.
Naturally, the peacekeeping is police major duty. And I've said this severally on TV, and that as they are fighting the war, because the police we have, they are not enough to keep the peace behind the war zone, So they need to employ massive, to make a massive recruitment, which of recent I am just seeing it in the paper that they are recruiting.
Yeah, there's the recruitment
so
going
when
on.
they recruit and they train these people, they will be the one that, and they should be people from that environment, not people from outside. Because when they see their children as the police officers and all that, they feel at home with them. But when you bring a foreign person, they will think they are coming to enslave them, So with the situation now, things will be better than as it was before.
Some of the elections we've seen this year already have been militarized, and people are concerned about that. You have elections and you find policemen on the road, you find the military. It does bring some fear, though, to the electorate that, somehow people might be too scared to come out to exercise their franchise.
Yes, we have the system now is that we call them security men, because police, the Air Force, the NSDC, all these people are gathered together to conduct election, even including the military. But, principally their job is to make sure that the election is peaceful and there's no snatching of a ballot paper. There's no, violence in the polling stations. And the presiding officer is the chief security officer at elections. He gives directives as what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, but is it necessary to have heavy military personnel at
in an advanced
country?
You scarcely see any person in a democratic setting. In advanced country, you will never see a single policeman at the polling stations.
So why do we have them here?
But it's because of the nature of our people. You know, the people are so militarized since the war, since the Civil War. If you see a child, you know, around a place now, it will just carry out. You know, since 1967 that the war is fought, everything has changed. You know, so people became, you know, aggressive and violent and easily agitated. So all these things has contributed a lot. And
so the tensions need to be diffused.
Yes, we need to diffuse the tension.
Definitely.
But the system is including the military, the civilians, and it's together, you know.
Okay.
It's
Mr.
together.
Mr. Paula Taiwo, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. Appreciate your being here.